Last week, the High Court in Dublin found the Irish government's response to the needs of those seeking asylum is in breach of the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights. Now, the judgment was delivered after the Irish Human Rights and Equality Commission took a case against the government, stating that asylum seekers had been left traumatised by the failure to house them. Councillor Séamie Morris joins me now. Séamie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Fran.
Good to talk to you today. You've been posting about this, Séamie, and you're wondering if we're living in a parallel universe.
I am, Fran, because in 2017, the right to housing we're supposed to have a referendum on the right to housing in this country, and we haven't had it. And since then, we've been promised a right to housing to be put into our constitution, which would put us at the same pair as IPAS applicants got in the High Court last Friday. But that hasn't happened. And now the High Court case last Friday, and I wonder how many TDs in this county actually read the findings. And I thank Matty McGrath for getting it for me, by the way. But it has incredible consequences for our own homeless people in this country, where IPAS applicants now their rights have been put ahead of the people that are homeless in this country. And Fran, if I wanted to tomorrow, if I was to put blue tents aside Nina County Council offices, I would have 24 tents for the people that I'm representing that are literally homeless. So could you imagine the visionary of that, towards the visionary of blue tents being picked up in Dublin? And that's only me as a councillor. And most of those people that I have been literally homeless for the last 10 to 15 months, and we cannot get a house for them.
Where are you seeing in the judgment, though, Séamie, that it's putting IPAS people ahead of Irish people? Where are you seeing that in the judgment, though?
Because, Fran, they were quoting Article 31,
yes,
which gives them precedence. But when if a homeless agency was to take a similar High Court case, they can't quote Article 31, because Article 31 hasn't been put over the line by the Irish government by not having a constitution, and not only not having the constitution, Frank. I read the document. It's weak. It's weak. What was brought to court was the fact that actually, would you believe, over 5,000 people appeared in Ireland in the first couple of months of 2024. It's a massive increase towards what came the year. It's actually over double the amount of people that came in 23 in the same period. So we have an increasing amount of people coming to the country, and now they have been given an absolute right to housing. And a part of that said that their health and mental health was being affected by the fact that they were being offered tents and they weren't being looked after properly. Fran, I have people that have split up as families. One member of the family's gone sleeping they're couch surfing on one house, and the other member of the family is couch surfing, and they're sharing the children between them. But the people that they're couch surfing on thought it was a temporary fix, but it's actually a long-term fix, because we haven't even emergency accommodation now.
The refusal of the judge, though, to accede to the Commission's other requests, Séamie, and my understanding about that, it was for an order to force the government to establish a system that vindicates the fundamental rights of all international protection. He felt it wasn't appropriate to go that far, and he did acknowledge that the government were doing what they could at the moment, considering the circumstances that we're in.
There, but what amazed me about it, Fran, is that we're dealing with IPAS applicants. Okay, these people are IPAS applicants until such time as they go through the process of getting getting asylum. So these people really shouldn't have the same rights as people living in this country paying tax. How could they have? Because first of all, there was three cases quoted in the court case. Two people from Pakistan and one person from Nigeria. They're not countries that are fleeing war, Fran. So where are we as a country? We've gone soft in terms of not looking after it. Look, I'll be honest with you. We are good and very welcoming people, and every one of those people that are coming to the country could have a great impact in this country. but they cannot be deemed as people that are paying tax. And one of the lines in it says that without prejudice, the generality of paragraphs, the rights and liberties and freedoms that may reasonably be inferred as being inherent in persons as human beings and necessary to enable each person to live with dignity and participate in the economic, social and cultural life in the state. Now, friend, we're talking about IPAS applicants. Most of them economic migrants that have no right in this country.
So it's the last sentence of that is...
Sure, friend, my point all weekend has been, where's the High Court case for our own people? Where's the High Court case? And I'm looking at a page in front of me here now, where I have a Polish family of 10, Mammy and Daddy working. The landlord wants to sell the house, has given them up to the July to get out of the house. They're literally homeless now. Only the landlord is holding on and not selling the house. And that where are their rights? Where's the rights of
what about the homeless and the housing bodies, Séamie? Are they not fighting the good fight here?
Again, I had to spend the weekend going through cases. There's been no case taken to the High Court by any homeless body in this country. There was a case taken to Europe by the Ombudsman for Children, but it was inconclusive. So we as a country are being forced to take European laws into effect when it comes to IPAS applicants. And at the same time, our own homeless people have no rights. And I mean that. I mean, we do not have to even have a constitution because we're waiting for this referendum. All I'm saying is that can Alone, Threshold, or any of those bodies please take a High Court case on behalf of the people that are homeless? As I said, Fran, I have people. I have a man, at least one person, that is actually sleeping in his car because he can't get a home, and this has gone on for over a year now. Okay, sleeping in his car.
And that's an Irish person, isn't it? It's a local person, isn't it?
A local person. He's not the only one, Fran. I know. And again, I don't want to talk about Irish, Fran, because I mean, I'm Moldovans, Polish, Romanians, anyone that lives in this country that's working should have the same entitlements as I call them taxpayers, Fran. They're taxpayers, so they should have a right to housing. But last week, the Irish Council for Human Rights brought a case to the High Court on behalf of people that should not have the same rights as the people I'm dealing with every day. And I'm not dealing with them. I'm failing them every day. And if I was bold enough, I'd get 25 tents and put them outside the council offices in Nina, just to give the same impetus as the tents that are appearing in Dublin.
Because of the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights, I mean, the High Court, in fairness to the High Court, I mean, they are just giving that judgment based on what's there in the Charter, Séamie.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Fran, and I'm not disagreeing with what happened in the High Court last week. But my question all weekend is, where's the High Court case for taxpayers of this country? Where's the High Court case for the 5,100 children that are homeless in this country? So all I'm saying is, and do you know what? And I think part of the problem is, Fran, there's too much money to be made out of homelessness. The NGOs and all the rest of them are making an absolute fortune out of dealing with homelessness, but not one of them brought a High Court case on behalf of the people that they're supposed to be representing.
What about people who might say even having this conversation, Séamie, is playing into all the difficulties of, I don't know, right-wing stuff and all the civil unrest that's happening now as well, and that maybe we shouldn't even be talking about this?
But that's what's wrong, Fran. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm looking with horror of what's happening in England at the moment and what happened in Belfast over the weekend. And I'm saying to myself, should I be opening my mouth? But if I don't open my mouth, who does? I mean, Fran, if you remember 2 to 3 years ago, we couldn't even discuss this sort of thing because we'd be shouted down saying that you're right. At least now we're having a discussion about it. And one of the reasons that people are so infuriated is the fact that we've had 21,000 of our own young have left this country. And I'm not saying that they're not having a roof over their heads or they're not working, but they thought they had futures in this country. They thought that we as parents thought that they could stay here and produce children for hurling teams and camogie teams and football teams, but yet they've had to go to Australia. And one of the main reasons that anyone will tell you is that they've no chance of getting a house here, absolutely none. So that's what we're looking at here. And here I looked at a High Court case last week where IPAS, there was a court case brought on behalf of IPAS, and there's, as I said, there's no court case going on behalf of the people that are working here. And I'm going to give another example, friend. We have an ongoing emergency here. In the first couple of months of this year, there were 70 notice to quits handed out to people in our social houses. That's 70 people now that have literally gone to the priority list.
And where is that? Is that in the county or is that
in the county? Yeah,
in the county. Yes.
19 in Thurles, 17 in Nina, 11 in Clonmel, 9 in Carrick-on-Shore, and 14 in Cashel. And added to that, friend, there's been a further 200 notice to quits for people living in private houses, and that includes my Polish family with 10 kids. So that is an extraordinary amount of houses that we have to find, and we're not going to find them. I would say in Nina, Fran, in the last year and a half, we've handed out 20 houses, and that's where we're at.
And still, we hear that Tipperary is doing better than most counties where housing is concerned.
We have houses in the pipeline, Fran, but I mean, if you remember rightly, before we broke up for elections, I brought in an motion asking that the government declare housing an emergency, so that we could use, just to be imaginative in the way we were producing housing. In other words, one of the things was to ease local needs. I mean, I've had several people on to me that said they could build a house in their own site for their children, but because they're not full-time farmers, they can't get planning permission. We should be producing retirement villages for elderly. None of these options have been used, and the one thing that I did really ask for is the 4-stage process to produce social housing is too long. I mean, it should be a 2-stage process. It's just by the time we get sometimes to put a shovel in the ground, the price has gone up so much that the contract is null and void. And that has happened in at least one 75 units, 67 units housing, social housing plan in Nina where the developer said, look, I'm not building it for that, and they had to go back and start the process all over again. So it's too slow.
Yeah, we heard from one builder a couple of months ago here on the programme that getting the infrastructure together is just such a pain, particularly where Irish Water is concerned, such a painful operation.
Irish Water are one of the biggest problems we have in anyone building a house, friend, and it has become a huge issue, and they are an absolute nightmare to deal with, and they're now because they have no funding, literally only what comes off the taxpayer. They're fleecing developers, and you wouldn't mind if they were just fleecing developers, but they're not even able to get things over the line. I think I told you one time, Fran, about a developer in Nina. He had a planning permission for an 80-metre connection with Nina Town Council, and by the time it came to building, he was dealing with Irish Water, and they insisted on an 800-metre connection. So it went from 8,800 euros per unit to 88,000 per unit. So you can imagine who ended up paying for that.
Are you seeing anything on the horizon to that might lead you to believe that we're doing something about this, even if it's down the line? Is there anything giving you any solace about this?
No, it's actually getting worse, Fran, because I read a couple of months ago that I+ applicants now can be put in turnkey projects. For turnkey projects is where council can come in and do a deal with a developer for 10, 15, 20 houses in an estate, and they could be built for social housing. But now they can be used now for IPAS as well. I mean, look, as I said, these people are in the country, and the thing we should be doing really is turning them around quicker, so that they're not here, long enough. That we should be having 24-hour.
But we're told by Helen McEntee that that's the case now. That there's a quicker turnaround.
Helen McEntee has literally disappeared since before the local elections. She's literally been pulled away from the time that she did the walk around Dublin and told everyone that Dublin was safe.
She's on the front of the Indo today. She's talking about domestic violence and what she's doing where that is concerned, and sentences matching the crime and all of that.
But that's not happening either, Fran, because we're seeing some of the horrific court cases where rape cases in particular, where men are being let go by judges that should know better. So, I don't think people believe if people lose belief in the government, Fran, they will react. And I think we're on a knife edge in this country.
And still, you look at the polls, Séamie, and you see such a surge for Fine Gael. So, like, what is that telling?
Fran, if they force in 200 IPAS applicants into Dundrum, you'll see the polls changing very quickly in Tipperary, and I'm told that people are infuriated at what's happening, and then that's going to happen in a lot more communities around Tip because the High Court case last week has quite literally given the go-ahead now for the state to move into every town and village in the country to get housing.
This is where the injunction was denied. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
All right, Séamie, good to talk to you today, and thanks very much indeed for coming on with us. Thank you. That's Councillor Séamie Morris speaking to us there.